y'all, it's Casey with Russo Resells. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Casey. I am a full-time online reseller and I sell on platforms such as eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Depop, and Curtsy. I was actually gone all week this week. It is now Friday, December 19th. I was out in Vegas visiting some family before the holidays, and I decided to keep my stores on, but with that being said, those orders need to be shipped out. So I'm going to go ahead and hop through those orders with you. On Monday, the day we left for Vegas, that was December 15th, I had 3 sales. Then on Tuesday, December 16th, I also had 3 sales. On Wednesday, December 17th, I had 6 sales. And then yesterday, December 18th, Thursday, I had 1 sale. And that sale actually wasn't even in my store. I am trying out Poshmark consignment, and I will have a separate video on that. Now, the first 3 items that sold on that Monday, I actually had to go ahead and package up yesterday when we got home and drop them off at the post office so I didn't get dinged by eBay. So I'm going to put a screenshot of them right up here. And the first one is this New With Tags C9 by Champion. They're kind of athletic pants. And this is a sub-tier of Champion. So even more reasonably priced than the Champion brand, but they were New With Tags, and I got them, I believe, at a $2.99 Salvation Army sale. So I figured I'd go ahead and experiment with them. I put them up on eBay for $9.99 plus $10 ship, and I had lowered the price because I've had them in my closet and my store for a very long time. A buyer came in and used my 15% off coupon, and they paid $7.67 plus the $10 ship. It cost me $6.39 to ship. My fees to eBay were $2.64, and that left me with a profit of $6.64. Very happy to double my money. Now, the next item that sold actually sold on Mercari, and I promised her I would get it in the mail yesterday because she did want to receive it before Christmas. And I felt that usually I do ship the next day, so it was my responsibility to get that item to her in a timely manner. And I even paid for priority shipping, which was $5 more than Ground Advantage, but I was happy to do so because this item actually comes out of my own closet. So it is this beautiful Free People magenta, like embroidered eyelet detailed peasant blouse. Very, very cute. Like I said, I got it out of my own closet, so zero cost of goods. I put it up on Mercari for $34.99 plus free ship. And on Mercari, I have the smart pricing on all of my items, so it had finally lowered to $27, and she came in and paid outright, which we all love a full price sale. So it cost me $12.81 to ship. My fees to Mercari were $2.70, and I turned a free item into $11.49. Now, the next item is also free to me. It is this Le Labo perfume sample, and I have an entire, I want to say, bin of, not like a giant bin, but like, a smaller bin filled with perfume samples that none of my family is quite interested in. So I have been dabbling in putting up some, especially before the holiday season. So I had this listed for $9.99 plus free ship. A buyer came in and paid full price. It cost me $4.76 to ship. My fees to eBay were $1.57, and my profit was $3.76. Not a giant profit, but definitely happy to give someone else the opportunity to try that perfume or cologne before they buy the entire bottle that costs hundreds of dollars. Those were all of the sales on Monday, and now we're going to head into Tuesday sales. So the first one is this Lululemon pair of ABC pants for men. And I did want to go ahead and pick these up at a half off Salvation Army sale, even though they are a smaller size, because I knew I could price them pretty aggressively and reasonably and still get a good return on my investment. I did pay about $4.50 for those, and I had them listed on Poshmark for $40. So I then received a offer from a interested buyer for $27, and I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $5.40, which left me with a total profit of $21.60. So definitely only pay for smaller sizes of Lululemon, actually anything Lululemon now, because of the saturation, and I believe it's harder to sell Lululemon nowadays, but definitely only pick it up if it warrants the pickup and it's a reasonable price. So I actually went to the Las Vegas Goodwill outlet bins and I found 3 Lululemon items, and they were all in okay condition that I'll probably just turn into the recycle Lululemon program, but still I only paid maybe $1 for each item, so that's worth it to me. Tangent aside, we're moving on. Now, the next item is a brand that I do not pick up all that much, and it's by Lane Bryant. The only reason why I picked these up is because they are a bigger size, they are a capsule piece, and they are new with tags. So they are this awesome black bootcut work trouser. And like I said, these are just capsule, they're classic. And I believe women who buy Lane Bryant, they just know what they like and what fits them best in the brand. So when they see it on the secondhand market, it makes it better for them because it is very highly priced, I believe, in retail stores. So I listed that very reasonably for $24.99 plus $10 ship. And a buyer, I want to say 2 days later, came in, used my 15% off coupon that I have running in my eBay store. They paid $21.24 plus $10 ship. It cost me exactly $10 to ship. I did have it promoted, so those fees were $1.69. My fees to eBay were $4.68, and I made a profit of $14.87. And I don't believe that I stated I got those also at a half off Salvation Army sale for about $5. So $5 into almost $15, I will take that any day. Those are the bread and butter sales that I absolutely love. The last item to sell on Tuesday is this Built by Basics. It is this beautiful maroon long sleeve, and I just absolutely love this. As you can tell, it is new with tags, and I did want to go ahead. I actually picked up, I want to say 10 to 12 of these at a newer Salvation Army that opened up near my parents, and they were priced pretty high. I want to say they were priced at like $9 to $12 each, but I did go ahead and pick them up because I knew that they would sell. I've always done really great with Built by Basics garments, so very happy to do that. And by now I have sold enough that I've paid for them all, and this is just pure profit. So I had this listed on Poshmark for $25. I received an offer for $17, which I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3.40, and that gave me a profit of $13.60. Very happy with that. Now, at the same Salvation Army, on a different shopping trip, at a half-off Salvation Army sale, I actually found this Maeve by Anthropologie, beautiful, like stretch, green, geometric print, like kind of a midi dress. And I thought this was absolutely beautiful, even though the new tag by Maeve just says Maeve, and this is the older tag. I still wanted to pick it up because I thought it was a beautiful piece. And I only paid about $5 for it. So a $5 investment is not that risky. So I did decide to go ahead and pick it up. I priced it on Poshmark for $36, and a buyer came in and paid full price. My fees to Poshmark were $7.20, and that left me with a profit of $28.80. Now, that Maeve skirt sold on Wednesday, and so did this bundle. So I had a lovely buyer come in my closet, and she liked a bunch of items. I went ahead and commented on all of those items, or you go to add likes to a bundle, and I put a comment under there saying, the more that you bundle, the bigger the discount I give. And she was very, very sweet. She added 3 items to the bundle, and I did give her a great discount. But before I let you know the numbers, I'm going to let you know what she bundled. So the first item is this House of Harlow 1960, I believe. Yes. And it is this pair of beautiful, like hot pink satin wide leg pants. These are just so much fun, and I got them for about $4 to $5 at a half off Salvation Army sale, so I just could not say no to them. I thought they would be so perfect to add to a bundle, and I'm happy that she did. The next piece is this Zara chartreuse like tweed blazer, and I did just recently show this in a Salvation Army haul. I did get this also for half off. I want to say for about $4 to $5. And then I got these a long time ago. I want to say almost a year ago at also a half off Salvation Army sale. They are by White House Black Market. They are new with tags. They are like these kind of stretch paper bag pull-on pants. And these are just so soft. I'm actually so surprised that they sat for as long as they did. Maybe I just had them priced too high, but I absolutely love these. So I have about $15 into all of those pieces. The bundle was priced at $131, and in my closet, if you bundle 2 or more items, you get a 25% off discount. So that left it at $98.25. And I offered her $70 plus the $4.99 ship. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is extremely low. That is almost half price, or almost half of the original price. But I have had those House of Harlow pants and the White House Black Market pants for a while, and because I only have $15 into all 3 of the items, I did want to quickly move those out of my closet. So that is why I sent her such an aggressive offer, and instantly she accepted, and she even messaged me. She was like, "Thank you so much for such a great price." And for me, that means a lot, because even $70 for me, like I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, that's kind of a lot. Like, should I do 50? Should I do 60? But I have to realize the worth and the potential of the items that I picked up, especially with that Zara piece being so new and the White House Black Market pants being new with tags. So I did go ahead and reach back out to her, and I let her know that it would be shipped out shortly, and I really appreciated her business. So my fees to Poshmark were $15.50. That is with the 20% Poshmark fee and the shipping discount, and I made a $54.50 profit. So I turned $15 into $55, and I couldn't be happier. Now, speaking of pieces that I've had forever, this too is another piece that I've had for almost a year, and I do believe it's because the stock photos were so horrendous, and I wish that I had taken the time to take it out of my inventory and redo the photos, but sometimes we just get a little lazy and complacent and we don't do that, and that's what I did. So that is why I accepted such a low offer, and I actually had a lot of interest on this, but because of the stock photos is the reason why I think it did not sell. So this is by Oliver and Burke. It is 100% merino wool, and it is this beautiful like cherry red crew neck, and it is in such a good size. It's a double XL, and I'm sorry, it's not merino wool, it's lamb's wool. So it is just such a good holiday piece. Such a good size, such a good material. I should have done better, but I just didn't. And I got this at a half off Salvation Army sale for about $4 to $5. I had it up for $30. I was offered half of that, $15. And I've been looking at it for so long, and I wanted to get it out of my closet, so I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3, and I doubled my money by making a profit of $12. So definitely do as I say. not as I do, and try to, put some time, put a little effort into your stock photos or your photos of the item, and that could go such a long way for your business. Now, the next item that I sold, or the last item to sell on Thursday, is by Zara, and as you can see, it is new without tags, and it is this beautiful crop embroidered blouse. Very tropical, very cute. Let me see if I could, oh yeah, that's better. Very little and dainty, as you can tell. And because it is not a substantial piece, I did price it very reasonably for $28 on Poshmark. A buyer offered me $18, which I thought was very reasonable, so I did accept. My fees to Poshmark were $3.60, and I made a profit of $14.40. I paid about $3 to $4 for that at a half off Salvation Army sale. You guys can see I love my $2.99 and half off Salvation Army sales. Those are the sales that I take advantage of to get my inventory and to stock my store with good items. The one lonesome sale I had yesterday on Thursday is, I'm going to go ahead and pop up a picture right here, is this beautiful new with tags Anthropologie duster cardigan. It is fully sequined. It is this pink, kind of grayish blue ombre effect. Very stunning, very gorgeous, but another example of do as I say, not as I do. I picked this up at Anthropologie on their, I want to say in their clearance section, and they had an extra 50% off their clearance. So I did get this for about $40, but as you can see, it only sold for $51 on my consignment person in their closet. So, and as you can tell by the stock photo, not exactly like my stock photos, probably like my stock photos when I first started selling, but nothing like now where I really put in an extra couple minutes in each item to make sure that they look up to my standards. So this sold for, let me get my spreadsheet up and running. This sold for $51. So what happens is Poshmark takes their 20% fee, and then my consignment person, they take 50%. So those fees were $30.60, and I left with $20.40. So definitely not worth paying $40 for, but I am very happy to get it off to a new home because I do think it is a gorgeous piece, and I'm just going to take this as a learning lesson for myself and my business. I am much better at doing thrifting than retail arbitrage, which is a little funny because as you can see right here on my bed, I did go to the Dillard's Clearance Center out in Las Vegas, and I found a couple items for myself, for my husband, and then to resell. So I'm excited to show you guys those in a new video, and I will be back, I want to say on Monday. Today is Friday, so on Monday to show you what sells over the weekend. So until then, my friends, I hope you guys are having great days, great thrifting, and great sales.